right. Hello and welcome. We are here for our Cub Camp Town Hall, and we are so excited to have you with us as we talk about Cub Camp. So we have with us, my name is Diane Betts, and I am the staff advisor for Cub Camp. And with me, joining me tonight, I have Kathy Hamilton, who is our Cub Camp chair. And we also have Kristen Wallace helping us out, who's one of our camp directors. All right, so today we are going to talk about day camp, what it is, what it's gonna look like this year, how we're all gonna keep ourselves safe this summer, and what you can do, hopefully help out as a volunteer, as well as what our virtual offerings are, and a little bit about details about the camps we have ready to go. So let's get started. Take us away, Kathy.
Hi, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. What do our scouts need right now? Our scouts need to be outside and to be able to reconnect with their friends and make new friends this summer. After a year of indoors and a lot of Zooms, I think this is going to be a wonderful opportunity for our scouts to have more of a community connection, to use their creative thinking. They're going to gain social emotional growth. Cub Camp, you know, they need confidence building. I think Cub Camp really offers opportunities for them to build that self-confidence, and they definitely need a change of scenery. But most of all, our kids need to have fun this summer. And we think that Cub Camp is the answer for our scouts. Why is day camp so impactful for us, for our scouts? Day camp can be a child's first independent experience away from their parents. They can strengthen their skills that we offer them. The activities really give them a lot of growth with the crafts, the activities, the scout skills, problem solving. They are independent at camp. They're taking care of their own belongings. We give them a lot of opportunities to succeed, and we praise them in the process. They're able to take risks and try new activities. One of the parents, after one of the summer camps, had a wonderful quote on her survey regarding camp, and she states that camp gives kids a chance to turn their minds off and to just be kids. Every day that her child came home from camp dirty and sweaty with a lanyard in their hand, she felt that she had given them a priceless gift. By the time school rolled around, they were refreshed and ready to go because they were given the opportunity to have fun all summer long. And we as directors are planning our camps exactly for that, hopefully offering them this priceless gift. Safety is our #1 focus this year. We are planning our camps using state and county guidelines and BSA guidelines, but our #1 goal is to minimize the potential risk and to keep our campers safe, and also all of our staff and volunteers.
And before we kind of dive into kind of the details of our code policy, we wanted to talk about what is camp. So camp is run by a team of professional and volunteers. They're caring, trained adults who are there because they love scouting and they want to help your kids grow and really thrive. And so what Cub Camp is all about is this team of great people who've gone through all sorts of training. They've gone off to camp school, which is really fun. They are accredited with the BSAs They've got a certified health officer. They're incredibly trained and incredibly passionate volunteers who really care in giving these experiential opportunities for our Cub Scouts. So let's talk a little bit about the structure of what camp looks like.
Cub Camp can be offered as a single or a multiple day outdoor experience. It'll either be a single day, or it might be a weekend, or a 3 or 4 day. The drop off and pickup is daily, and the camp is usually run from either 4 to 8 hours in the day. Each camp is very unique in their structure and the activities that they offer. But they all have the same, again, multi-station structure. So a den will rotate between stations during our Cub camps.
And so they're also divided up into dens. Tell us about it, Kathy.
So the Cub Camp dens are where we divide our youth to maybe 6 to 12 participants. They're usually members of the same pack, and usually by rank. This year, we are going to be keeping family members together and the same pack in the same den as much as possible to minimize any exposure risks to COVID. All the camps have different program stations, like I had stated, but they do rotate based on a schedule in the day that the camp director provides. And lunch, snacks, and water are packed in from home in a backpack. The camp activities can vary camp to camp, but they're very similar, and most of them will offer archery, slingshot, and BB gun opportunities. It's one of the only places, or one of the only times that a scout can get some shooting training in, other than a shootout. We offer nature and outdoor codes, hiking and leave no trace opportunities. We can offer woodworking, whittling for bears and webelos, an arrow of light. We teach a lot of scout skills, first aid and orienteering and knots. This year, we're going to have some lunchtime science shows show up at some of these camps. And games, leathercraft, and sports.
Yeah, so they have a lot of cool opportunities. Not every camp does everything, but this is kind of just a sampling of what could happen at any and all camps. And it'll be awesome because our theme this year is weird science. So it's going to be really a cool time with all of these stations. All right, so what's different this year? We've talked about what we are doing this year. We're going to have staggered den arrivals and departures with slightly shorter days at a lot of our camps, which is a little different than years past. We're going to be bringing water and meals from home. Traditionally, we bring meals from home, but we're going to ask water as well to kind of prevent congregation points around the water faucets. Siblings and pack members will be placed in the same den this year, just so that families can stick together and make it easier for carpooling and for arrival. And we'll be putting packs together as much as we can as well. We'll of course have mask wearing, social distancing, and lots of disinfecting. We'll get into that in a moment. This year we'll have no parent volunteer requirement, which is a little different from years past. And I think many parents will find that to be a relief potentially, as well as lots of COVID safe policies that we're going to kind of walk through this year. So it's very similar to what it's looked like in the past, just tweaked a little bit to make it nice and safe for us. So we'll walk through kind of the big key points that will keep us safe this summer. So number 1 and 2. So Number one is we're all going to do our part. We are good scouts, and so we will be good scouts and help out our fellow participants. So what that means is if someone in your family is sick, if someone is showing symptoms, they notice something's up, they're not going to come to camp. And we'll work with you as a council to get refunds if you don't come to camp because you're not feeling well. We'd rather you stay home, get better, than potentially come to camp and get another participant sick. And we're happy to work with you to find a later camp that will work or get you a refund. As well as cohorting, which we will talk about in a moment, but we'll be grouping people up into sort of pods like dens that will be working with each other at camp. So we'll be talking about that a little more in a second. But what's key is they will not interact with other groups at camp. They will be an isolated group. Of course, everyone, all camper and staff, will be wearing masks at all times except for meals and snack times. And we have some policies in place to help our staff guide campers on how to safely take off their mask to eat and then how to safely put it back on afterwards. We'll also have a daily health screening. So all campers and staff will need to complete a at-home health screening that they'll present to the health officer when they get their temp check and their health screening when they arrive. We've made it really streamlined, so it will be an online form you complete. You show at your window that it's complete. Kid gets their temp check and they're off at camp. Parent never even has to leave the car. It's going to be nice and streamlined and easy to kind of help get us in and safe and scouting. We're also going to ramp up our disinfecting and our cleaning. So all stations will be disinfected between each cohort. So as rotations happen, and then we'll have bathrooms and common touch points cleaned on a regular schedule so that any common touch points are safe for our campers, as well as we'll be strongly encouraging and working in hand washing opportunities so that we really reinforce everyone washes their hands before and after meals and between stations. And then lastly, our biggest and strongest COVID safe policy is social distancing. So we kind of have two ways that we are helping with social distancing. One, we're keeping the cohorts away from each other, about 25 feet most of the time. And we'll be doing social distancing within our cohorts so that we keep the participants farther away from each other so that they can keep each other safe. Now, I mentioned cohort a couple of times, so let me just dive into it a little deeper. So cohorts, or dens, as they really are at Cub Camp, is a maximum of 16 people total, including campers, leaders, youth, staff. And they are not going to interact with any other staff or den except potentially the medical officer in the case of some sort of injury. It's really our gold ticket of how we will keep each other safe is we'll be having these small pods going together, these dens going to all these fun activities together and away from the others. And so Kathy's going to walk us through a little bit what that looks like.
So some of the camps will be offering a staggered den arrival and departure time. It will vary by camp. I'm going to show you an example of Camp Cheeseboro that has a half an hour difference between each den as they arrive and they depart, and a visual to show how they will work through the day without with social distancing. And this is why we ask to sign up with your pack members so that your scouts get the best experience with the kids that they know. So again, example, I have 3 dens for Camp Cheeseboro that would be wolves, bears, webelos, and Arrow of Light, with keeping the tigers completely separate from those dens due to the fact that tigers need a one-on-one parent there at all times. Not all camps will offer tiger opportunities, but some will. So this one I have the first den arriving at 8 and leaving at 2. Second den arrives at 8:30, leaving at 2:30, and the last den arriving at 9 and leaving at 3. And then the tigers would come in at the very end of that from 9:30 to 3:30. As the stations, as they rotate between the 4 stations offered, because I only have 3 stations that are going through those 4, between each station, there's going to be a substantial amount of time for us to clean and to disinfect anything that's necessary as the kids rotate through the station. Because again, we won't have an instructor there. The den leaders will be instructing they'll have all the tools they need for that, but we will be cleaning in between any station uses. So then just as a quick visual, before the dens arrive, I have 3 bathroom stations denoted in purple. Parking, we have den 1 arrive, and then they would go to their first station. As den 2 arrives, den 2 goes to their next station, their first station. Den 3 arrives, they go to their first station, and the tigers arrive and go to their area. I have a very large space at Camp Cheeseboro, so I'm keeping the tigers in an upper area, and they're going to have their own space. But because there's one-on-one parents there, I have a lot more parents to help structure that whole entire program. So you'll never see them move from where they are, but they will be doing different things in different locations away from the others. So as it continues in the day, you'll notice that the dens are rotating to the next stations every 40 minutes or so, and never really crossing paths. Even when they go to lunch, they'll be lunching at different times. There'll be a show for them at lunch, and that'll be an exciting thing. But as they leave, they'll all leave at their own, again, half an hour after each other. And this is also going to help reduce traffic and vehicle flow and any kind of traffic jam, because we're going to ask the parents not to be getting out of their car when they drop off and they pick up their child. So it will be kind of like a school setting. As they're being picked up, we will locate you, we will make sure you get your child, and then it's off and gone.
Yeah, and this is just one sample, so not every camp will look like this, but we wanted to kind of show you to help visualize what it can look like, that each cohort, each den rotates together. So your role at camp. So you do have responsibilities as the parent guardian bringing your camper to camp. So one is obviously getting registered and filling out the paperwork. But when you're at camp, it's health screenings every day, doing them before you come to do the health screening, having an availability to drop off and pick up at those staggered times, as well as availability that should your child develop symptoms, the ability to come within an hour to pick them up. We will have a quarantine area, so if anyone starts exhibiting symptoms, we'll have them go there and call you to come and pick up. So we'll need you available should that happen, as well as keeping everyone else safe. So that's if your scout is sick, keeping them home and contacting us, not traveling far out of the area before camp, and not attending another activity while at Cub Camp. We're trying to keep stable cohorts. And so we ask that you don't attend other activities, to only focus on Cub Camp while you're at Cub Camp. Now, if you want to attend camp, Kathy's going to tell you all about it.
With no mandatory days, We are definitely looking for volunteers. The cohorts, again, will vary by camp, but an example would be 10 scouts and having 2 or 3 volunteers for that den to help teach what is going to be taught at these stations to the scouts. But working on the cohort guideline this year, again, we're looking for parents who want to be there all week long. We're not taking single, double, or 3 days a week. We're looking for someone who's available all week and who doesn't mind giving a little lead instruction with the assistance of other parents that are also in that cohort.
And this is a really, really great opportunity to spend time at camp with your kids or with your den. Like if you as a den leader register your whole den, you can all come to camp together. And it can be a really magical experience. So think about it as you're making your plans. So we're going to take a quick break here for any questions anyone might have. Go ahead and put them in the chat or raise your hand and unmute. If you had any questions about the many COVID policies we've walked through or what camp will look like this summer before we get into our virtual opportunities and details of dates. All right, I see one in the chat. Oh, I do not, but I do see in the chat that Kristen Wallace has put in our Cub Camp page, which is super smart because it has kind of the detailed policies. So if you are the type of person who wants to read in on this, visit our Cub Camp page. We have a whole section on keeping Scouts safe, and we kind of outline what it's going to look like at camp. How to register? That's a great question, and we would love to have you at camp this summer. So registration will be going live in April. We are still finalizing the registration since it looks a little different this year, but it will be live for you in April, and it will be just like previous years, an online registration form site. And we're not going to have paper registration this year. It's all online, making it hopefully nice and easy for everyone to just register online. All right, with no more question, let's get into all of our offerings. So we're going to start with a little bit about our virtual offerings that we're also doing this summer in addition to in-person.
So last year when we had to shift, we landed on something really exciting, and we had a blast, and a lot of scouts attend what we call Cub Camp Inside Out. It's a virtual experience. It's we have a couple experiences this year. The first one is Camp Nova, where we are offering for 5 days, 1 hour each on a Zoom, with 4 different weeks that we're offering, 4 different themes based around science. This is for all ranks. Tigers, unfortunately, there is no NOVA award for Tigers, but they are welcome and have a blast at this camp. We do, for the 1 hour that we offer them, the scouts get up and move, they play games, they do a craft, they share their work, they learn a lot about the NOVA theme for the week. They are engaged with questions. They're able to really experience each other, and it's a really exciting camp for those who either are not comfortable with going outside this year, or for those who want even more than what they're going to get at the in-person camp. The second and the newer camp that we're offering this year is, and the Camp Nova is going to be, again, there's going to be $75 a week. Each additional week is $50. or you can join all 4 weeks for $200. Comes with some phenomenal awards and, again, really great experiences. The newer one that we're offering for 2 different weekends during the summer is Skills Camp. And that will be for $50 for the 2 days, and that's by family. We will be touching base on orienteering, the essentials and safety of hiking, how to use natural resources, animal tracking, IDing, poisonous snake ID, water purification, how and why they would use knots, and we will be using breakout rooms to get that more one-on-one connection with the scouts.
All right, now let's talk about our in-person options, which I'm super excited about. So here is our map of our offerings. We actually are still working on getting a few more nailed down, so hopefully it will get updated soon. But here is our list of dates and our list of opportunities and prices for you. So we have, starting us out with Camp Cheeseboro, and we have Lake Cunningham 1 and 2 in San Jose. We have Fort Bonito down in Hollister. We have Schaefer, which is a 2-day on the weekend in Santa Cruz. We're going to have, I think, 2 in Monterey, at least. They're working on getting a couple for the whole Santa Lucia region, as well as Vasona and Los Gatos and Stephen Creek in Santa Clara. Some of these dates are still being determined because we're working with the county to make sure we can get our reservations. So we are getting those finalized, and we will have our registration open in April for all that are ready for sign up. So we're not fooling. Come April, we're going to have it open for you. Now, registering for camp. There's a couple of questions to ask yourself as you are getting ready to register for camp. What camp should we go to? What days work for me and my family and for my pack? Do I have other people going with me? What activities interest me most? These are all great questions, and we look to answer these questions for you. You can always reach out to us through either our website, which we have put in the chat for you, or email us at cubcamp@svmbc.org if you need help. You can register online once we register it up, and camps are going to be available only until all available spots are filled. I will stress that they will have limited availability. We are keeping the caps low to help, once again, add another layer of protection. I like to think of it as Swiss cheese. Each layer adds a little more protection on top until we have a pretty safe sandwich. And so sign up as quick as you can once registration opens, since caps and spots will be limited for our in-person opportunities. Now, everyone's favorite thing, paperwork. Okay, maybe it's not, but it's the same forms that we require every year. We won't have a registration packet the same way. So your registration will be online, but we'll still need a paper health form as well as a BB permission form from you. And the BB will be able to email us and scan it, but for your health form, we prefer that be physical. You can just mail it to our office and we'll take care of the rest because it has your health information, and that's it's not ideal to email that. Now, you still have questions. You still want to know more things. Check out our website. We have many cool things there. So we have the details of in-person camps. That's where we will be posting registration live, and that's where you will find the most up-to-date dates. You will have the Camp Inside Out details. It has our patch contest. What? We didn't even talk about it because it's so great. We have a patch contest that's due in mid-April. It's a really fun activity sheet that we have that has a patch contest, a bookmark, a coloring page, a patch contest. It's great. Print it out and use it as a den activity. We also have our Cub Camp Guidelines, some FAQs, and any camp forms that you need. We are updating it regularly, so it's your best place to find additional resources. Now, Kathy, why should we choose Cub Camp?
Oh my gosh, the greatest reasons. Number one, to learn and experience things that are not taught in other programs, that are grounded in the values of scouting. Again, during the year with their pack, we offer a lot of other opportunities that they can do that they normally wouldn't throughout the scouting year. To develop an important scouting tradition of attending summer camp, best 4 years they've had. It keeps scouts engaged in scouting and helps them in requirements towards their rank advancement. Great proud moments for them, builds experience and their confidence. And dare I say, they even walk away with a little bit more maturity. It's fun for all participants, including the volunteers, the parents, and the staff. Once camp is going and we're in the thick of it, it is one of the most gratifying experiences that that we can really have with our scouts.
Definitely. And now if you need other help and you have more questions about awesome things, some resources for you. We have Deb Olson, who works at our camp, at our council office, and she's our support person who oversees all of program, and she has answers to all of your paperwork woes. She is a great resource. You have me, and I am a great resource for all of your Cub Camp woes. Any questions you have, feel free to send them my way, as well as Kathy. She is an expert and a camp director, and so she has a lot of knowledge. And each of the individual camp directors and professionals for the districts, each district has their own Cub Camp, so feel free to reach out to your DE with questions. We are here to help. We want to get you to camp, and we want to help give you all the tools and knowledge to do so. So our last slide, thank you so much for attending. Are there any additional questions that anyone has? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or ask in the chat. If you have any questions. Well, hearing none, thank you so much for coming to
I'm excited for summer camp this year.
What was that, Kathy?
I'm sorry, I got lagged. I was just asking who's excited for summer camp now?
I know I am. All right, thank you. That ends our Cub Camp Town Hall. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. We hope